Liberal donors pull back cash. That was the heading. Here's a quote from the piece. Many remain frustrated at the $1.5 billion frenzy of spending to elect former Vice President Kamala Harris resulted in defeat. So are they banging up the right wall here now? Trying to run to any judge they can find to stop Trump?
Well, Bill, I don't think I'm alone when I say that most Americans want our federal government to be run more effectively, more efficiently, and provide better value to Americans. That's universal. I think I speak for most Americans, Democrats and Republicans, when I say that should be done transparently and it should be done legally. You know, we live in a culture in which both sides use the courts to further their policy objectives or to push back or oppose. That's natural. But I'm part of the party of progress, and am I a little disappointed that it seems that we would rather be just opponents than participants and progressives? Yes. So I think two things can be true at once, Bill, and we're facing one of those. We need to reform our federal government, but we need to do so legally. And to everybody watching right now who's disappointed when they see shoplifters and smash and grabbers not being put in prison, not going through our judicial system, I think we should hold the federal government, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and others accountable the same way. If it's legal, go for it. If it's not, we need to be a nation of laws. If we lose that, we're in deep trouble.
And we will watch that. I said lone voice because Senator Mark Warner out of Virginia is also a Democrat, and he seems to be in your column now. He said this, watch.
I think the Democrats' brand is really bad, and I think this was an election based on culture. And the Democrats' kind of failure to connect on a cultural basis with a wide swath of Americans is hugely problematic. I think the majority of the party realizes that the ideological purity of some of the groups is a recipe for disaster, and that candidly the attack on over-the-top wokeism was a valid attack.
I mean, it seems in hindsight that he's probably right about that, and voters felt the same way.
Indeed. I wish Senator Warner and others who have felt this way for a long time had raised their voices when it mattered, Bill. You know, we just had an election in which too many of my colleagues, in my estimation, were quiet and fearful of repercussions if they spoke the truth. And here's where we find ourselves. Now the opposition party that had a grand opportunity to still be a party with some sway in Washington, but that's how the cookie crumbles. And that's part of the problem in Washington, Bill, and around the country. We have to start liberating politicians to speak the truth. I think we need term limits to provide an incentive to do so. And no matter your politics, we have to start recruiting and appealing to young Americans to serve the public. And I would just ask that Mr. Musk and Mr. Trump, as they pursue this policy of efficiency, take a look at the Pentagon, the $1 trillion that we're spending almost every year. Take a look at healthcare, that we have about 2/3 of American bankruptcies due to medical debt. You know, take a look at our education system, falling behind the entire world. We have to be a nation of progress, and that's why I wish my Democratic colleagues and Republican colleagues would work together to do better for all of us, because frankly, neither party is doing it real well right now.
Well, you know, Pentagon's in the crosshairs very soon here. Department of Education was there last week, so they're moving on that. Quickly, just a Gallup poll here. Would you rather see the Democratic Party become more liberal, stay the same, or more moderate? 45% say more moderate. So when Warner talks about wokeism being over the top, he's right. Last word, I got to roll.
Yeah, last word is this. Moderation is relative. You don't have to sacrifice your values to be pragmatic. And I think the Progressive Party must start employing a little bit of pragmatism and start listening to Americans, not just in big cities, but all around the country.
All right.
That's a recipe for success.
Sounds like you might have a new platform, and we'll keep in touch on that. Dean Phillips, thank you for your time, sir. Thanks for coming on.